Hey, welcome back to my channel. How are you? So today is my tattoo diary. I've been very influenced by a lot of people who have done videos about their tattoos, and I've got 3 which I'm extremely proud of. I just want to say I love all my tattoos. I love a lot of people's tattoos. Not going to name anyone in specific, but I'm very into that. So the more the merrier, in my opinion. So let's get into it. Before I start talking about my tattoos though, I do want to say that if you are in any way triggered by my story, which I will be telling honestly and openly, whatever words you want to use, please, please, please seek help. Like, I know I call my National Suicide Prevention Hotline, which in UK is Samaritans. I do call them when I'm feeling triggered. So in all honesty, if you feel like you're gonna be triggered, please call them, or the equivalent in your country, wherever you're viewing this. Okay, so let's get started. So my first tattoo that I really want to talk about is the 2 on my right arm. If you can see it, move the bracelet out the way. Is Chester. For if you are a Linkin Park fan, you will know what I'm talking about. If not, this tattoo is in my first ever tattoo, and it's in loving memory of Chester Bennington, who was the lead singer of Linkin Park along with Mike Shinoda. And yeah, I was absolutely devastated when he died, and because he's one of my earliest memories. He literally saved my life when I was going through a really difficult patch, because I was diagnosed in my teens with Aspergers, who, if you don't know, it means I'm on the spectrum. And I wasn't coping with it at all. It came as a big shock to me, because I didn't understand, quite literally, what it meant, what was going on, why I was being diagnosed with something which at that time I'd never even heard of. I mean, there's a lot more, thankfully, out there in this day and age, and I'm pleased about that, really pleased. But at the time, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anything about it. So it was extremely difficult for me to deal with, and I just I hit a low, like a really big low, and I at the time didn't see a future. Like, I didn't think I'd ever be filming this video, talking to you so openly about it, and yet here I am. I was in a school where they weren't trained to deal with someone like me, as it was, somebody different, as I was so eloquently called when I was a teenager. And like, I mean, you're probably thinking this is shocking, but when I was a teen, that was the norm. It was like, I get called different, I get called contagious, because I was diagnosed with Aspergers syndrome, and they said syndrome. When they hear syndrome, oh my lord, they're like, oh my god, don't come near me, we'll catch your syndrome, or your Asperger's, you're contagious, don't come near me. True story. I will not mention the school that this was, okay? It was a school, and that's all you need to know. There's enough without me adding names to it, which, if I'm being completely honest with you, is a mercy they don't deserve, but I'm a grown-ass woman. So yeah, parents, teachers, kids, all of them in that school treated me like that. And their only method of helping me was to suspend me or exclude me. And I'm like, really? You're supposed to be trained to look after me. You're supposed to be in a position of trust, okay? And and it really broke a lot of trust in me, which I'm not sure I'll ever recover. Or for whatever reason, I'm just kind of like, no, just no. And I remember being at home one day, and I was just lying on the floor. I hadn't taken anything or anything like that, thank God. Thank God I hadn't taken anything, or if you want a more visual representation of that, I hadn't taken anything, but I was thinking about it. Like I said, if you're triggered by my story, please seek help. Please. I'm not trying to hurt you or trigger you in any way. I'm just talking about my own struggles. And so, I think subconsciously I was watching MTV2 or MTV or Kerrang, one of those channels, and I hear this soft intro like do 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 do, and I hear Chester singing Crawling, and finally it all makes sense. It all makes sense. The lyrics, the music, sorry, I'm fluffing up my words here, but let's be honest, this is unscripted. It all made sense to me. Personally made sense to me. And I was drawn to it in such a huge ass way, and I was like, that is me. That is literally how I'm feeling right now, right here, right now, in this very moment, and I will never forget this moment. I will never forget this moment. That is the moment that it finally all made sense to me. Fast forward 17 years. And that man and this band, they've lost Chester. They've lost, a family has lost a son. Another family has lost a husband, a brother, whatever else he is. My mind was blown. I was seriously triggered because I couldn't take it in. I was like, what are you talking about? No, he's not dead. He's not dead. I do not believe it. And I can't remember the last time I grieved that intensely over someone. And it was intense. It was really intense because I went straight back to that moment where I heard Crawling come through my TV, and don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. But it took me right back to that moment. And I couldn't take it in. I still can't take it in. And I remember when they announced the Hollywood Bowl show, and I was just kind of like, oh my god. Wow. I remember the day when they were gonna live stream it. I think it was a Saturday, and I was just like, nah, I can't watch it. I can't watch it live. I cannot watch it live. And I remember the very next day waking up and going to church, and I was like, a boy in my church, he didn't know who Linkin Park were, and I was like, in my grief and in my mixed up head, I was like, how can you not know? Am I the only one? It turns out I am the only one. Great! But in the end, I decided I'm going to remember him in my way, in my own personal way, how I want to remember him. And it will be for me. It won't be for anyone else. It will be how I want to remember him, because he was special to me. Even if I'm the only one in the place, he is special to me. No apologies. And I remember going to my local tattoo shop, and I asked them, can I have this design put on my right arm? And the minute she put that stencil on my arm, and I looked in the mirror, I swear I got so choked up. I was like, I know this is the right decision. Let's just do this. Let's do it. And I couldn't be happier. My first tattoo. My first tattoo. So, after I got my tattoo, everyone that thought that I wouldn't get a tattoo was shocked. They were shocked. For me, it was perfectly normal, you know, like I've always wanted a tattoo. I could always see myself with tattoos, and that, so I literally could not fathom their reaction. I'm like, it's a tattoo, what's the big deal? And they were just like, oh, it's wow. I think even if people don't realise, people that have known me for a length of time, even if they didn't realise back then how deeply I was grieving for Chester, they realise now, because his name is forever with me, and his name is engraved on me, and that's how I wanted it. That's how it will be. That's how it will stay. No apologies. The second tattoo I want to talk about is this one, if you can see it. This one. It is what I call my family crest, which is 3 hearts interconnected with my mother's initial, my initial, and my father's initial, and it says just us 3. I got that because I felt personally that after I'd honoured Chester, I wanted to honour my family, and all the things that we've been through together, and the love that I feel for my mum and dad. And I knew I was gonna get another tattoo, and I knew that I was gonna get more, and I knew that I had this space on my arm after I got Chester done, because I wanted to put the two together, because my mum and dad like Linkin Park too as well, you know, they do. In fact, yeah, we listen to metal music all the time, but my mum and dad really like Linkin Park, like seriously. I got this done in the spring of 2018. You were probably gonna laugh at this story, but like, I remember I was, did I finish work in the morning, or was I already like off that day or something? I can't remember very well. I know that it was freezing, I know that it was cold, and it was snowing. It was snowing, and I was thinking about it for quite some time after I'd gotten Chester tattooed on me, that I was just gonna be like, okay, I really want another tattoo, what should I get? And I spent time going back and forth in my mind, just like, what do you want? Do I want this? Do I want that? Do I like this? Will I regret it in a few years' time? That's literally how I spent 17 years of my life, trying to think of what tattoo to get. So I remember I got like this image in my mind of like 3 interconnecting hearts with initials, and I was just kind of like, okay, this could work, because I wanted something meaningful to us. Even if my mom and dad never get tattoos, they will never get tattoos, but it's just me, so I'll just be like, I wanted something that could be appreciated by us. And so in the bleak midwinter, a little bit of singing there for you. I literally went and started cooking some pasta, and I was thinking, oh, I really want a tattoo. So I called up the same place that I got Chester done. Remember, I got all my tattoos done in one place and by the same artist. Excuse me. And thankfully she was there. And they were like, yep, come on down, we'll do it for you. You know? And I was just like, yes, I'll do it. Oh, I've just cooked some dinner. Ooh, okay, eat the dinner really quickly. Eat the dinner really quickly. I was literally like, it was just pasta and sauce, I think. And I was just thinking, oh my god, I'm gonna miss my bus. Oh my god, it's snowing and I'm running out to get a tattoo. I must be crazy. I'm literally dressed in a skirt. I think it was a skirt. Was I wearing a skirt? I can't even remember what I was wearing. And I'm wearing my boots and I'm just kind of like running for the bus. I was like, ah! I was just kind of like, oh my god. And I'm just kind of like, I think the driver sped to South Harrow, which is basically around where I live. And I just went in and I'm like, I have to get a tattoo. I really want a tattoo. They're like, yeah, that's fine, come on. Stay calm, because they know me and they're a scared stiff Cindy. Because I have the most exaggerated reactions. Have you noticed that yet? Yeah, so there I am, we're just mapping it out. And I get in the chair and I'm just kind of like, I'm like talking incessantly because I'm a bit nervous. I'm like, yeah. But I loved it. I loved all my tattoos, and I just, because me and my family, we've been through so much. Like, just now I mentioned my mental health struggles. I've always had them to rely on, and they, on a serious note, they fought to get me into a school when I was being effectively pushed out by my school. And I was just kind of like, what do I do now? And I remember talking to my mum's eldest sister, my auntie, and she said to me, "What are you doing with your life?" And I said, "Well, this is going on, that is going on, the next is going on." You know, she was a listening ear to me. And she said to me, "You get up and fight," or something along those lines. And it just stuck with me. You know? It stuck with me. And I remember when we finished that conversation, I literally went up to my dad, calmly went up to my dad, and I said, "I'm taking over. So I'm going to need all the numbers of all the people that you call in. And they're going to talk directly to me now. They're going to talk directly to me. They're going to be dealing with me. There'll be no more talking about me. They'll be talking to me. And they'll see what I'm made of." So it would be constant for a number of months. I would be calling these people, and I was calling a lot of people, you know, and I was just kind of like, okay, I was calling them possibly like every hour, or every couple of hours, or every half an hour if it need be, just to get an answer. Think of it like chasing up an agency, only a lot more. Yeah, I did that. How old was I? I think it was about 13, 14. And I was eventually put into a special needs school, as they called it back in the days. They called them special needs schools. You know, nowadays they call them additional needs, I think. I think that's what they call them over here. If I'm getting it wrong, please correct me in the comment section below. But that's what they called it back when I was a teenager. They called them special schools. And I was there for a year. I started in 2002. So that gives you a clue to my age. I started in 2002, and I went... They tried to make me repeat a year, because they're like, "Oh, but you've missed a year." I said, "No, I'm not repeating a year, okay? I will not repeat a year, because it was not my fault that I got excluded. I was around a bunch of ignorant post-war baby boomers who had not a damn clue." They were like, okay, fine. I said, "Why should I not be at the same pace as everyone else? Do you have a reason?" So I got put into special needs school until summer 2003. With my mom and dad's support. If they didn't support me, they wouldn't have let me do that, I don't think. But you're thinking, it's got to be more than that. There is, well spotted. And the answer is right in your face. You see that line there? That's my cleft. I was born with a cleft lip. And so I've spent literally half my life, 19 years of my life, in and out of hospital. Surgery, braces, teeth reconstruction. I've had teeth out at the back here, and I've also had like facial reconstruction as well. I've got a scar which is on my hip. I won't show you it because I don't want to get demonetized, but it is here. And it is, they took the fat out from there and put it into my lip, so my lip looked like it was like quite a sight. Whoa. And I had my nose done as well. They gave, because I don't know if you can notice, this side was more collapsed, and it kind of is misshapen, or not even misshapen. I like it. Imagine how boring that would be. So I've had the second tattoo. It made sense to get so soon after. Yeah. Not to mention that the wording for "just us three" literally came from my ring, which I never take off. I can take off all this, right? But the ring never comes off. It's funny how my ring always gets mistaken for a wedding ring, like, no. And I can't even take it off now. Like, I could try now. I can't take it off. Even if I wanted to. Can't take it off. So, yeah. And the reason why it's just us three is because me and the rest of my family don't speak anymore. People change when they grow up, you know? People have their own struggles. People stay and people leave. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they stay, and sometimes they leave. Not really much else to say, but I know in my heart, the end of the day, it's just us three. So, on that note, I will move on to my third and final tattoo, which is final for now. I do plan on getting more, and I do plan on filming a sequel to this when I've gotten more, when I'm able to get more. Yeah, I'm hoping to get more. I would definitely say I love tattoos, and I go back to the same place. So, let's get on to my final tattoo and story time. Just get this hair out the way. Can you see it? This, on my very scarred up back, which, by the way, I suffer from acne, is my True Faith tattoo. This one has a lot of meaning for me, and I'll get into it. I just want to say, if you want to check the detail on it a bit better, you might need to pause the video because I'm literally going to turn around now. So, yeah. Just stay like this for a little bit longer for you. And I'll put a t-shirt on. Because even I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious right now. So, my True Faith tattoo. True Faith because, yes, it's a New Order song, and it's one of my favourite New Order songs, and I love it. It's one of my earliest memories, listening to 80s music, and because I was born in 1986, so as it stands, we're in 2019. I am 32 and a half years old. No, I will not post a picture of my ID just because you don't believe me. Oh god. Yeah, so I was born in 1986 when New Order were at the height of their, still are at the height of their fame, if you still know who they are. And yeah, True Faith is literally one of my favourite songs. I love the video, I love the beat, I love the lyrics, so uplifting. If you haven't heard it yet, I strongly recommend it. It's literally so beautiful. And like, it's just an early memory, really. Back in Shepherd's Bush, where I used to live as a child. Another thing was the cross, which is from my faith, and that is largely inspired because I attend this Christian conference every year, and it's called On Fire Mission. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. If you want me to, I'll link it in the description box or something. But yeah, I attend that every year, and I got this tattoo done in the very next day when I came back from it, and I felt really really renewed in my faith. I was stronger, I was meeting new faces, I was reuniting with old faces, and I felt stronger, especially after Chester's loss. I felt, yes, I'm around people who understand, who know what I'm talking about, and who love his music as well. So I was like, yes, I want another tattoo. I want it to represent that. And friends, and literally it's brings me on to my next point, which is the semicolon, which brings me back to my struggles as a teenager, getting diagnosed, not knowing what to do, finding my path. I wanted to acknowledge that struggle separately from Chester. I mean, they'll be intertwined, but I remember reading online about the semicolon, and I always wanted a semicolon tattoo on me somewhere, I don't know, and I've always wanted that tattoo. I felt strongly about it because If you don't know what it means, I'll explain. It means my story isn't over yet. When an author could have ended their sentence but chose not to, my story isn't over yet, and I believe that strongly. Because I'm sat here talking to you, all of you, about this. I don't know where you're watching this from, but I'm grateful that you're here. And the angel wings, therefore, a lot of reasons. I love angel wings. I love them. I've always held that image in my mind, particularly like for two reasons. In 2011 we lost my grandfather, my dad's father, and I was writing a lot of fiction. Now it's kind of like, how can I describe it? In some countries it's called a novella. In my country, UK, they call them soaps. I wrote kind of like a soap opera drama type thing. I won't go into detail about that, but one of the characters had angel wings tattooed on his back. Big angel wings, so they'd be like that. But I was thinking to myself, I am not brave enough to get angel wings that big. But I love the design, and it kind of like, it was a comfort to me. And another reason was my other grandfather, my mother's father. He said to my mum that he thinks I was an angel, and that was another reason why I got them done, because of him as well. And my back piece is all separate tattoos that I literally wanted. Maybe on different parts of my body, who knows if things were different, where they could have been, what they could have been. But all I know is that I ended up putting them together, and I come up with such a fantastic tattoo that my tattoo artist, she helped me design and map it out, and inked on me, you know. If you want to know like where I got all my tattoos from, I will put them in the description box below, and you'll be able to see where and who did my tattoos. But I really, to be honest with you, the one on my back is going to be pretty hard to top. Yeah. So that's my tattoo diary. That is most of my story. There are other things, and maybe I'll save those for another video, or maybe this is the video, who knows. I'm not really a regular uploader on YouTube. I just had a strong feeling that I wanted to do this video in particular. So I'll just kind of I just want to wish all of you guys really well in whatever you're doing, and just want to say that when we're filming this, it is July, and for any Linkin Park fan, July is a difficult month. So I'll just say to you before I leave right now, stay strong. I've said this quite a few times, but it never hurts to say it again. we are in this together, you know. And if you are struggling, there are people out there that are willing to help. Seek and ye shall find. I call Samaritans whenever I'm feeling particularly stressed out, and they've always managed to calm me down. Like when Chester passed away, I will be completely upfront with you, they calmed me down and helped me a lot, and I've been calling them 4 years now. So yeah, please stay strong and stay safe, and I hope to see you on the next one.